Oh, he's an Olympic design expert and principal at International Design Practice, Hassell. Hassell is in fact the company that was responsible for drafting designs for all sporting venues for one of the contending cities, Istanbul. John joins us from Hong Kong. John, of the three contenders, Istanbul was seen possibly as the least equipped in terms of infrastructure. Do you think that was a big factor in the IOC's decision to give the Games to Tokyo?
I'm sure it was a factor. I can't say exactly what all the IOC members were thinking. But yes, it could have been a factor given that the other cities had less infrastructure to build. But I should say that sometimes it doesn't always work that way, because the International Olympic Committee sometimes wants to leave a very lasting legacy on a city. So sometimes the more that you build can leave a better legacy in the future.
In fact, from what I can see of plans for Istanbul, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, there was plans for a new amphitheatre looking out across the strait at the Blue Mosque in the old city. And Mr. Erdogan, the Prime Minister, had put this Olympic plan at the centre of his plans for huge infrastructure upgrades in Istanbul. Is that not so?
That's right. I think it was some bold choices, but I think I applaud the bold choices. Sometimes you need to make these very strong decisions and these very creative decisions in order to sometimes secure the Games. So I think Istanbul actually did a wonderful job in putting their bid together.
So, but Japan's promise, for example, of essentially revamping and upgrading existing sites from 1964, that you feel won out in the end, or was a big factor in Japan actually winning out in the end?
I think they had a compact master plan, and they divided their master plan into two sections. They had one section that was called the Heritage Zone, and it was very nice how they combined some of their venue planning with the Imperial Palace and some of their 1964 venues. And then the other half of their master plan is surrounding the Tokyo Bay, and it was aimed at revamping the Tokyo waterfront. Of course, Tokyo does have a very strong waterfront that needs revamping, and so that was part of their legacy bid for the Games, and I applaud them for that.
Of course, we've seen enormous jubilation and elation in Tokyo, many scenes of that. Now, after this happiness winning this bid, what's next for Tokyo?
Well, Tokyo obviously now needs to deliver what they've promised, and I'm absolutely sure that they can and they will. There's still a substantial amount of infrastructure they need to build. They've got 22 venues that they need to provide either as new venues or temporary venues, and so that's going to take a substantial amount of planning, including their athletes' village and aquatic centre and rowing courses, etc. So they still have a lot to do, but I'm sure with all of the preparation they've done over the last couple of years that they'll do a great job.
In fact, one of the factors swung in Tokyo's favour was its capacity for, quote, guaranteed delivery. Is there such a thing as guaranteed delivery in terms of designing, planning and building for Olympic venues?
I think in the real world it's sort of hard to definitely guarantee. However, the IOC is looking for sometimes a safe bet. They're looking for cities that really have the ability to deliver on their promises. And I think Tokyo obviously is a very well-developed city, a very well-established city, and they are good at putting their bids together and also in delivering on infrastructure. So I think that's what the IOC has been looking for, and I applaud them.
Thanks very much indeed for joining us, Mr. Pauline. That was John Pauline. He's an Olympic design expert and principal at International Design Practice, Hassell. I'll stay with us.